point is there. He doesn't really want to throw there. He lost his patience. That's not where he wanted to put the ball. On the bootleg, the crossing route was supposed to be the receiver. He forced it, and this cost him 7 points.
And then when the Cowboys took over on the very next play, the play that got them down to the 12-yard line, one of the strangest catches I've ever seen.
This one bounced around a little bit. A lot of air under the ball, and I don't know how they decided who made the penalty. They called defensive pass interference, but I think they could have called it either way.
Either way, it went down to the 12 and just a huge hole for Emmitt Smith.
Cut back. The play was supposed to go out wide to the left. The defense went that way. He just cut it back.
And Emmitt Smith now has scored a touchdown in 6 postseason games. He's 1 game away from John Riggins' record of 7. To do that, of course, he'll have to go to the Super Bowl. And the Cowboys are in good position at the moment. They're up by 11. Let's go back to the action.
6:47 left to play. Dallas 38, Green Bay 27. The handoff is to Emmitt Smith. He stopped after a couple of yards. Smith already has over 100, 132 before that one. 3 touchdowns.
And it's been the same thing every year. Every time the Packers play the Cowboys, it's just been that they can't hold up to that run and stop Emmitt Smith and Michael Irvin. I mean, it goes back to the same things. Yep. And then Leon Lett came up big today. And Leon Lett on defense has been coming up big since they lost Charles Haley.
2nd and 8. Aikman will throw it. Going deep for Irvin. Incomplete. The pass was there. Newsome back there with him.
Remember, early in the half, it was early in the game, was in the first half. That's where the Green Bay Packers lost John Yurkovich. Right here, you see Eric Williams got him from behind.
And look how they've been running at the middle.
Yeah, well, what happened is then when they lost John Yurkovich, then they lost their rotation inside. And I think that because of those long drives, I think they got a little tired in there.
3rd and 8, this is Emmitt Smith. Got the first down, he's got more. Out of bounds is Smith inside the Packer 40 down to the 37. George Teague knocked Emmitt out of bounds.
But every time the Cowboys get in trouble, anytime they really need something, they go to 2 groups. One is the offensive line, and the second guy is Emmitt Smith. And maybe the 2 of them just go together. You see the block Larry Allen?
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Yeah, he pulled around and came up through the hole to lead. I mean, the holes are getting bigger and bigger as this game goes on because this Cowboy offense has really worn down the Packer defense.
38-27, 1st and 10. Smith was in motion, and he knew it.
Illegal shift by the offense. Number 22 and 48 moving at the same time. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
Yeah, you can have 2 guys can shift, but they can't be moving at the same time. One of them has to set. These fans don't worry about that because they feel that right now the Cowboys are going to another Super Bowl.
5.5 minutes left, 1st and 15. Novacek's the man in motion. And Aikman's back to throw it. It's Novacek to the 30, 25. Novacek lowered his head and ran over somebody and got inside the 20 to the 18.
Novacek looked like a runaway bull going down there. He wanted to finish that off. He's fired up now. Well, here's a guy who's made some big plays today. Some big 3rd down plays, some 1st down plays. And when you get the ball in the open field, look, he has his head on a swivel. He's looking for someone to finish that up on, and he finds safety George Teague.
1st down, Cowboys at the Packer 18. And the clock is running. Emmitt Smith to about the 50. This game is presented by authority of the National Football League. Intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Dallas Cowboys and the National Football League is prohibited.
You know, before the game, Jay Novacek's mother came on the bus.
And his wife.
And his mother was wearing the jersey, his jersey, number 84, and she had some autographs on it. You know, you love to see that. I mean, pro football, 11-year veterans, but here's the mother wearing the son's jersey, and I'll tell you, she's proud as heck right now.
Smith knocked down quickly by George Kuntz. The clock continues to run. 3:54 left to play. A very dejected Brett Favre. Well, Dallas 38-27.
You know, it starts to set in. You know that this is it. That you're losing, and you were so close to a Super Bowl. And it's been so long since they've been here. Last time the Green Bay Packers were in a Super Bowl was Super Bowl II. Vince Lombardi was the head coach.
You were involved.
Yeah, I was a linebacker coach for the Oakland Raiders.
I was a broadcaster.
We were all there. That was after the Ice Bowl.
It's the first time I ever met you. Emmitt Smith gets down to about the 16. Again, at the end of the game, John and I'll be picking a most valuable player. Clock still running at 3:10. You know, when you look back at it, once the playoffs started, Green Bay had to play that extra game. They played Atlanta. They beat Atlanta. They went to the West Coast. They beat San Francisco. But that extra game, the Cowboys in the meantime had that week off. Yeah, and that helps.
And the other thing, you know, when the Cowboys got a lot of confidence, I think, was when the 49ers lost to Atlanta.
Yep. And
they got home field throughout. You could just see their confidence grow.
Ponyo from 34 yards. Ponyo's field goal is no good, and his streak has come to an end at 29. 2:35 left to play. 38-27, Dallas leads.
Demand more for your £11,465. The Primera Precision.
11 o'clock and it's time for break.
Oh.
It's time for Cadbury's timeout.
When you're gassing, asking for a break.
And no chocolate, like the taste of Cadbury's flake. Delicious flake fingers, crispy wafer, all covered in Cadbury's milk chocolate.
That makes it time out. Just take a time out.
No matter what you're doing, yeah,
Put a flake in your brain.
the Cadbury's timeout.
This is the most wonderful Monday morning ever, and it was enjoyed by E. Nelson on the way to his first day back in work. Last year, this booklet also helped over 400,000 other people back to work. Call 0800 250 200 for your copy.
.27. 2:36 left to play. Favre back to throw it. Screen pass to Edgar Bennett. Bennett tripped up by Godfrey Miles. Didn't get a first down. Did get about 5.
There's a guy that deserves a relax.
Deserves the most valuable player award too, doesn't he?
I sure think so.
Here's Favre. Pump. Favre. That's to Mickens. First down. Favre says hurry up. They like to run another play before the 2-minute warning, but that won't happen.
There's so many guys that have played well, you know, for both of these teams today. Michael Irvin had a great game. Troy Aikman. The offensive line. You could give it to the whole offensive line.
Leon Lett. Dallas leads by 11.
Well, you hate to persuade people to switch off, but it's looking like things are beyond the Packers now, Jerry.
Well, I think what we saw is a team of 50 can still beat the most valuable player in the league. Favre, the outstanding player all year, but not enough parts to go around him. Can't run the football. Going till they ran the draw on third down, had 20 yards rushing for the whole ball game. And when you do that, you're not going to beat a real good football team.
And by contrast, they couldn't stop Emmitt Smith.
The longer the game went, the harder it became for them to stop because of all that beef up front, all the 300-pounders. You can't play for Dallas, you know, unless you look like an elephant with shoes on.
And the Packers missing John Yurkovich in the middle. All right, the Cowboys are in control. Let's go back to the last 2 minutes.
Here's Favre. Running, and down he goes in the grasp of Leon Lett.
I said how Leon Lett has really stepped up since they lost Charles Haley. I talked to Charles Haley the other day, and he said, I'll tell you what. He said, I don't know if I'm going to play today, and of course he didn't. He said, I'll guarantee you, if the Cowboys win, I'm going to start in the Super Bowl.
Second down. Favre buys a lot of time. But down he goes again. He didn't buy enough time. Shante Carver and Chad Hennings got there. And the Cowboys make it more and more difficult. That is Brett Favre's father packing up the binoculars.
There's Irvin Favre saying, it's enough. I don't need those binoculars anymore. But it was a great year. A great year for the Green Bay Packers. A great year for Brett Favre. This is what it looks like. See here, when you get into this position, you got 4 guys down and pass rushing, and then back here you have 7 guys that aren't worried about run, play, pass, waggle, anything. They're just all playing pass defense, and that's when offensive football is at its toughest, when you really don't have a chance and you get into these situations.
There goes the Gatorade bath for Barry Switzer.
That's a one-man Gatorade deal. That was Nate Newton. Usually it's about 2 or 3 guys that pick up the old bucket.
Yep.
But if you got Nate, that's a one-man bucket push.
This will be Dallas's 8th Super Bowl appearance, if indeed they do hang on to win. 1:40 left.
They are happy because some of these guys have been there before, and they know what it is to get back, like Nate Newton. Some of them haven't, and boy, it doesn't get any better than a Super Bowl.
Today's game being produced by Bob Stenner and directed by Sandy Grossman. They both always do it so well. Favre back to throw it. Flag on the play. Penalty markers come flying. Technical producer of today's broadcast is Bob Mueller. Audio director Bob Siderman. The technical director is Steve Laxton.
Full start for the offense, number 72.
Associate director is Rich Russo. Broadcast associates Mike Roig and Fran Morrison. Stage manager up here with us, Rich Nelson. Our spotter is Wayne Fiddleman. Statisticians are Dave Swaby and Tom Yohe. Studio is produced by Scott Ackerson and directed by Bob Levy. The executive producers of Fox Sports are the always reliable Ed Gorin and David Hill.
And there's the smiling Troy Aikman. You see that?
Yep.
He says, hey, say I'm having a good time. Say I'm having fun. Well, you look like it there.
Favre is down again by Tony Tolbert. Michael Irvin had a great day. Scored the first 2 touchdowns on passes from Aikman. You can give him the most valuable player award as well.
And how about Troy Aikman and how he moved this team and threw that ball?
How about the offensive line?
And how about Barry Switzer and the abuse that he takes when they lose? That's what I say. If you're going to criticize them when they lose, somewhere you have to give them credit when they win. Jerry Jones, the same thing. The job that he's done in building this thing and how they get all the negative things and then they put it all together. And as Troy Aikman said, he said, we overcame a lot more this year than we should have.
Remember the assistant coach of the wide receivers, Gil Haskell of the Packers, who was injured after he hit the back of his head earlier, was taken to Baylor Hospital in an ambulance. We don't have any more information, but certainly we would wish Gil the very best. Barry Switzer, he won championships in college. Now he's won the NFC Championship in the pros. Brett Favre throws it to Brooks. And Dallas will take over.
And they can start their celebration. And the good thing about the Super Bowl is you have 2 weeks. Reggie White is saying, no, I don't want any of this.
Get that camera off me.
A warrior. That's the thing about this. You come into a championship game today. There were 4 teams this morning alive. This afternoon now, there's just 2, and they'll go to the Super Bowl. 2 weeks from now, there'll just be 1, and they'll be the world champion.
Pittsburgh and Dallas. They have had some classic matchups. Remember Roger Staubach, Terry Bradshaw when they were matched down in the Orange Bowl in Miami. This is the 8th appearance for Dallas. They won 4, they lost 3. They won under Landry, they won under Jimmy Johnson. Now they have a chance under Barry Switzer. Aikman just kneeled.
Again, I think this entire Cowboy organization, Jerry Jones, the job he's done. Always enjoyable. Rich Dalrymple and how he always helps out with everyone, and his coaching staff and the changes and the players hang together.
There's a guy who really rose to the occasion. He was suspended in the middle of the year, Leon Lett. And since he came back,
it's been a long time since we've seen those smiles.
Yeah, yes, it has. The local media scrutinizes this team like no other, and they get on them when they don't smile. They get after them when they don't talk.
They get after them when they go for it on 4th down.
Yep.
But I'll tell you, winning is a great deodorant, and it's all been a race today.
The Dallas Cowboys, the NFC champions. And they go to the Super Bowl to play the Pittsburgh Steelers, to whom we congratulate.
Well, Jerry, you said before the game